Right now, I'm exhausted. Jessica's exhausted. This is life on a passage that goes on longer than you expected. We're ready to get off this boat. At least we're ready to touch land and get some fresh fruits and veggies.
The joy of living by our own rules is that whether things go great or horrible, the opinion of the day is 100% up to us.
We're having issues that has not resolved itself, and I'm getting a little concerned.
Sure, no one wants to work on fixing a clogged toilet, but no one forced us into this lifestyle. And when we think of the life we left behind versus what we have now,
little by little, this is just a matter of just troubleshooting and knocking out all the boxes before you get to the end.
But then again, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Join us as we hurry through boat repairs on anchor so we can leave Costa Rica to have more things break down along the way to Guatemala. Thank you so much to our patrons whose support make these episodes possible.
This is what life looks like after a 5-day sail, a 4-day sail.
Sexy.
Largo's back at school. You're back at managing WORLDTOWNING business stuff.
I'm trying to get my 5 days done in 1 day. So yeah, but manic maybe.
When we got into our anchorage here in La Herradura in Costa Rica, we came in with basically 2 engines that had 2 different problems. The portside engine didn't have a working fuel system, which means that there might be bad fuel. We're gonna go ahead and go and test out everything and maybe change the filters, blow through all the lines, make sure that we can get all the bad stuff out. It's blowing out black smoke, so I'm pretty confident it's a fuel issue. And then the other engine has an oil leak, and I can't really figure that out. So we put in oil last night if we do have any more future leaks, which I don't know why we shouldn't. I mean, not like it would stop, but we'll be able to see it right away.
We used to live in Costa Rica. I think I've said this 100 times already, but if there's a river that dumps into the sea, then there could possibly be crocodiles. So I think we need to get to the bottom of whether there's crocodiles here or not, because I think we're all going to need a dip in the water today.
We definitely need a dip in the water today.
So who's on crocodile
It's
patrol?
super hot today.
I think we should let's put Sentry out there to see if there's crocodiles.
It is 105 degrees outside, 94 degrees inside.
And it's 10:30.
And every fan is being utilized like there's no tomorrow. Okay, welcome to underneath my bed. This is the engine bay. Hold on, let me show you like this. This is what we have here. We have 2 Volvo Penta MD40s. So we have 40 horsepower on this side, 44 horsepower on the other side, and they're underneath the engines at all times. And which makes working on it easy and not easy. It makes it easy because if it's really bad weather, it's really nice to actually have this covered indoor space to go ahead and work on the engine. It's not easy because then you gotta tear apart the engine, but so you can't always have everything. The fuel that's coming in here is not working out well. There was black smoke coming out. We've said this before. The problem with fuel diagnosis is that usually you want to think that it's just a fuel filter and be done and swap it in, swap it out, and you're okay. And it's the most expensive route, but it's the easiest route. And so a new fuel filter like this from Volvo, we were in France and we picked up some extra ones that were actually Volvo spec. These are like 30 bucks each. So to go ahead and just replace this on the thought that it's not something else, to save time, then you have to sort of say how much is your time worth? In this case, I don't want to go through 3 hours of trying to spec out other things. So I'm going to try and sort of guess that maybe this little $30 fix for backup filter, fuel filter is going to be the answer. I always pack them up in saran wrap and plastic wrap because on a boat, moisture gets to everything. Not exactly the most eco-friendly, but now I have a rust-free filter that is going to hopefully solve the problem. Something every boat should have on board is these filter wrenches. I love this one because it's not chain. It's leather, so it grips on better. It's a little pricier, but it makes life a whole lot easier. It looks clean and it looks empty, which means it's probably got something in the line here. Closer to the gas tank, so we have to take our efforts over there. I wished it was a filter. The idea is once you change the filter, you have to go and manually prime the pump so that you can get all the air out. And as I was doing the manual with the pump, it didn't really necessarily push any air or any gas through. All right, so we've got ahead now. We're at the primary filter. We should have started there first, but I always like to do the easy ones first, less expensive ones first. This is like a $45 filter, and so but it did its job. Because if you look over here, and
is it ready to be changed? Is that
if you look at it,
ooh,
you see that? And you see this is a fresh one right here.
Let's see. I don't know if they can see that with the camera, but okay, I'll move the camera a little bit. Ooh, that's good. It's kind of dark. Move it a little bit more. It's kind of hard to see on the.
It's kind of hard to see.
Just take our word for it. It's disgusting.
It is kind of disgusting. And
how long's that been in there, hon?
Not too long. I think what happened was that in Colombia, there might have been some residue that went back into the tanks.
Anything else to report?
Well, we're gonna try that and then see if that works.
This family is totally crazy. I'm in the kitchen cooking lunch, and they got the engine fixed, and it started, and there was no celebration after I all of a sudden felt the boat vibrating. I'm like, did the engine start? They're like, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Where are the bells and whistles? You can't even get excited about the engine starting?
I'm excited because now that means we get to jump in the water.
Watch out for the crocodiles.
There's no crocodiles here. Since we're not legal in Costa Rica, our overnight shelter that we took here is just that. And that's not just that, but listen, here's my 2-second gripe, and I'm gonna keep it at 2 seconds, maybe a little more. If you are not actually checked in the country, you cannot go into a marina and get gas, which I find atrocious. I mean, I get it, how it makes sense, you know, they want you checked in and the whole bureaucratic process, but I just want some gas. I don't have to go 30 miles in a taxi to the immigration office just so I can go ahead and check in and get some gas.
And it takes 72 hours. So we'd want to check out before we were checked in.
They say it takes like 72 hours if you have an agent do it. I'm just not doing it. And an agent said that he would do it for us for $500. I'm sorry, we're out of here. We're going all the way now towards the edge of Costa Rica. We're gonna bypass Nicaragua. We're gonna bypass El Salvador. We're heading straight to Guatemala. Listen, if we can make it to Guatemala, which is a 4-day sail, and if we can not run out of gas in the meantime,
are you thinking we might not make it?
we have like half a tank on both sides. So we're gonna run one engine at a time again, and we're gonna see what we can do. If we start running out of gas, then we just duck in someplace in El Salvador, see what happens.
The money,
and just yeah. But I'm hoping for wind. I'm hoping we don't have to use the engines. There's been nothing, zero.
Century is protesting. I took her, when we go on long day sails, I give her a kitty litter and she has all kinds of fun in it. We got here and she knows when we're on anchor not moving, she goes back to the toilet. She pooped twice on the bathroom floor, like, I'm not going back to the toilet. So I hope this isn't a sign of things to come. It's not cool, right, Century? Not cool. What was I even gonna say? I don't remember now. One night of sleep and no shift and I'm like a mess. But we also need to leave because there's some heavy winds coming through a dangerous zone. Basically, it's when the wind gets even higher, and so you want to go through there with no wind, and there's going to be some serious wind in there on what, Monday, Will?
Yeah, it's right now Friday afternoon, and we're hoping to be clear of it by Sunday afternoon, evening-ish.
Okay, and Monday. Yeah, I think it's complicated getting out of here.
This area is a very high fishing zone, which means that you get very high fishing boats, which love to zoom past here without caring whether you're a sailboat or not. Listen, sailboats and fishing boats, we don't get along that well unless they're delivering us free food, and then we're okay with you guys. We just entered the Papagayo area of between Costa Rica and Nicaragua. It's kind of on the border between the two, and this area is notorious for having super high winds, and it is one of those things where even though the forecast says one thing, it's gonna be something completely different and usually worse. We expected about 20 knots of wind. We're at between 23 and 28. We're reefed in. We got 2 reefs in the head sail. We got 1 reef in the main. Our main is very small, so 1 reef should be enough for the moment. Once we start hitting 30s, then it's time to sort of get more reefs in. It's supposed to ease up soon. Right now, at 26 knots, we're at 45 degrees to the wind, so it's not an optimal wind angle, but we're still seeing about 6 knots of boat speed. I imagine if we were at totally beam on the beam, we probably see around 35 knots of wind, and we'd be going about 8 knots. We're sacrificing speed for safety.
I'm so happy we're not going that fast.
And right now, our objective is to get to the other side of the Papagayo winds before it gets worse. So where we're heading to now is we're heading towards the coast. Now, if we really wanted to take advantage of this weather and take advantage of these winds that are kind of nice, because I've seen us hit almost 8 knots at times, then we would do the rum line all the way straight to El Salvador / Guatemala and make some serious time. The shortest distance between two paths is a straight line, but whoa. But we're not doing that. We're heeding the advice of other fellow sailors, and we are going to get to the coast before dark and then hug the coast all the way up. And that may cause us to actually lose wind, but it's gonna cause us to actually not be in the worst of the wind, which is due to happen relatively after dark. So as much as, you know, it'd be nice to go ahead and go super fast, we're not. That's why we have now this wind angle that we have. If we really wanted to sort of zoom, we'd go 90 degrees or maybe 110 degrees all the way to Guatemala, and we'd be there almost in like a day and a half. But bad things have happened. This area has been known for a lot of tragic events for people who don't sort of heed the warnings. And we have, you know, people on board. We have crew, we have Largo, we have Jessica, and we have Century. So we're heeding those warnings because it's important.
Well, these are the most dolphins I've ever seen around the boat. I just counted 10 of them. One of them came right up and jumped. You know, the Mediterranean dolphins don't do that.
These aren't much chill though. They're not as excited.
They're not.
They're like half beluga whale, half dolphin. Oh my gosh, look at all that.
There's a ton of them.
Behind us.
Dolphin, dolphin, dolphin. Come close. I'm in a rush now. I'm tired of being on here. Let's get going. I'm gonna hop on a dolphin and Avalon!
Hi.
We got another fish, honey. Samuel put the line out like 10 minutes ago and we got a fish.
I'm over here dying in the cold, and you're like, we've caught a 50 fish.
Yeah.
Go, Samuel, go!
Is it easy?
He said it's fighting. It doesn't look so easy.
Remember, what was the hardest thing we reeled in? Avalon, what's the hardest thing we ever reeled in?
Seaweed. I still tell that story to this day.
You see it? We lost it, I think. We lost it? You sure those are fish?
There was something.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's a lot of effort for nothing.
Did you put a little voodoo on our fish, Avalon? I know you did. I know it. She says she's happy we didn't catch a fish. That's mean. Remember how to do it, Largo? Right now we're putting up a pole to go wing on wing, and
I think we're good.
we haven't done this for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months.
All right, perfect. Raise the gray line, the uphaul line more. Go ahead, you can move it more. We have a decent amount of wind. We got like 15 knots of wind, which means that for the next day or so, we still get to capture wind power because our fuel level's low, and we like to sail. Sailing's cooler than motoring. So we've been battling with engine problems over the last couple of days. One engine has an oil leak, the other engine doesn't have enough gas. We have fuel transfer pumps that we installed in here.
That are working really well.
That have been working as designed
Up
until now. So we're trying to not use the one with the oil leak because it's hard to really tell where the oil position's at. I know it sounds strange we have a dipstick, but I just can't get a good read. And so we've been running our port side engine more than we run the starboard side engine. So that means that we have to go ahead and transfer gas over. The pump that transfers from the starboard side to the port side is now not working, so I have to use then the other pump that transfers from port to starboard. So I just gotta sort of swap them out. It's not a hard job, it's just a job as we float in the middle of the Pacific Ocean between Nicaragua and El Salvador. It's good times. All right, so we've gone ahead and we've swapped these two out. Now we're basically, what was once going one direction is now going the other direction, and hopefully the right motor is going in the right direction now. So if we just flip the switch. And good.
It's working?
Yeah. We're transferring fuel.
All right.
All right, we'll give it 20 minutes of fuel transfer.
Will is kind of like the wind whisperer. I don't know if he's a wind whisperer, but I was thinking I'm gonna go wake up Will if this continues like this in a couple of minutes, because we just had the motor on and I knew we'd want to get the sails out and kind of get us stabilized. And just about, I'm thinking, I'm just one more minute, I'm gonna go get him. And what happens? He comes out the door. It's like he has a spidey sense for the wind. What? There's wind? Get the engines off. Get the sails up. You're bringing it.
I heard the wind coming.
You did. It is. Will, do your best Blair Witch.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and the wind is howling, and we are tossed around all the ways. I don't know if we're gonna make it out alive. We're gonna make it out okay. We're doing just fine.
Do you remember that Blair Witch thing?
I never saw it.
So last night was a bit of a rough night, and this morning everyone is in a bed that's not theirs. I ended up sleeping outside because, as you can see, it's super rocky and I didn't want to have anything to do with my bed. Largo, because it was so smooth the last couple of days, he left his hatch open and a bunch of water came in. So he ended up in our bed, and then Will ended up right there. So did you make a novice sailing mistake last night?
I didn't make a novice sailing mistake. I just thought that everything would stay as it was last night. No
Right.
wind.
Because we had days and days of no wind and we could sleep with the hatches open. What did you think? Were you dead asleep and a bucket of water basically came in on you?
No, I was slightly awake, but then I felt that I was like, oh, of course there's water. Of course it's coming in.
Did it land on your face or on your body?
No, it landed on my chest.
Oh my god.
I'm currently working on biology as I am for the next month.
Biology, and then you're done.
Yes.
Then you're done, yay. This must be a dolphin playpen right here because they are jumping all over the place. Look at, oh my god, I've never seen so many dolphins ever together. Samuel is convinced it's the same family that's following us. I think they're reproducing along the way because they seem to be doubling.
It's amazing because all these dolphins are just waiting for the waves to come, and you can time it because when the waves are at their peak and they show up and they just like start riding all the way down. It's quite amazing. See that right over there? That's El Salvador, and that over there, that's Guatemala.
We almost moved to Guatemala when we started full-time travel in 2014, and fear got us. Fear got us, and then we moved to Costa Rica, and when we went to visit Guatemala, we were like, we shouldn't have let the fear get us,
Right,
because
the food
Guatemala
was so much better in Guatemala.
Oh my gosh, so much better. And the culture is rich. It's a rich indigenous culture. It's just a cool place. So I'm excited. Even if we get to only see it for 12 hours, I'm very excited to kind of experience it again. Maybe buy some pillows. There's great fabric there. We need some more pillows.
We'll see what the marina shop has.
The marina I don't want nautical.
We are now about 20 miles away from our planned destination in Guatemala. We actually thought about going ahead and going all the way to Chiapas, which is only about 95 nautical miles away, which we could get there by this time tomorrow, if not less. But weather is not solid and fuel is not plentiful. So we really don't want to become someone who goes ahead and winds up with a distress call because we're out of fuel in the middle of an international border. So we're just gonna duck into Guatemala and enjoy it because, well, it's a new country. It's a new country for friendship at least.
It's a new country for Samuel and Largo.
What's that?
It's a new country for Samuel and Largo. You and I have been here, but they haven't been here before.
There you go. Excitement abounds for everyone. And this is what motoring for who knows how many days it looks like. It's a lot of just calm awesomeness. You know, I hate to motor, but if I'm gonna go ahead and motor, at least I'm gonna get something out of it. You get these incredible afternoons like this when the sun's going down and the dolphins just come out and want to play on your bow. You know, there's a lot of times where we say, wow, you know, things could be so much better. This is it. This is the better. And I'm super happy with this moment right now because it's so easy to dwell on the negative, but right now this is a massive positive, and I'm excited. Jessica's napping. Samuel is out there at the helm, and Largo's doing his D&D, and I've got this, and now I'm delivering this to you. It's hard to really complain to go ahead and be like this, except for the fact that Yeah. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm pretty happy right now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You don't see that every day.
No, you don't.
Thank you so much for watching this episode and for following our family as we explore the world. Join us in the next episode as we adventure on land in Guatemala, where we hike up to the top of a volcano and things don't go exactly as planned. I don't have anything profound to say because none of us are feeling great. We're just ready to get back to the boat and be at sea level so we can breathe again. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, we would really appreciate if you could hit the button below. Plus, another shout out to our incredible patrons who, without their support, these episodes would not be possible. Join us on Patreon for monthly live chats and exclusive content.